Okay, so the part 2 of our video tutorial. If you already finished making double crochet stitches over the scallops, here we have the last stitch made. When we finish the last double crochet, we have to make a slip stitch right into the third stitch of the chain. So we count 1, 2 and 3, and we make slip stitch right here. Slip stitch. And after that we will have to crochet over the packing cord and into the back loops of each stitch right in here over those petals. We will have to crochet 4 picots, plus we will have to make between each picot 4 stitches, 4 single crochet stitches, and at the end we have 3. We will have to make 3 and then begin again with 4. Also, when we come to the point where we have 2 stitches here in indentation, we will have to skip 2 double crochet stitches and continue to the next scallop or petal. So the first, what we will do, pick up our packing cord, and notice that when I pick up my packing cord and I will continue crochet on the edges right in here, you can see how much packing cord here can be visible, but it will be on your back, on the back of your work, so you don't have to worry about this. And I will show you how to finish this afterwards. So we will pick up our packing cord, and after slip stitch, the first thing we will do, go into the next stitch, which is going to be the stitch between the chain and the first double crochet, and make single crochet here. Make sure that this is not pulled very high. This has to be the same height as whatever is allowed, the flower or motif allow you to be. In the book they don't talk about this. I understood that they cut the thread and packing cord after first scallops, and then they pick up packing cord again. But I'm not sure, they are not saying anything. I rather go and continue over the same packing cord, raising it up a little bit. If your packing cord has the same color as your motif, you don't have to worry about it. No one will notice it. And then I'll show you how to correctly finish that motif on the back so it will look nice. So we have first single crochet, we have to make 4 of them into the back loops. So 1, then 2, 3, 'Then make sure that you're in the right place. 4. After 4 single crochet stitches, we make picot. 1, 2, 3, chain 3. You can chain of 3 or 4 or 5 even stitches. It's all depending on your taste, how long your picots you like your picots to be. Finish picot with a slip stitch. For those if you find it difficult to close picot with slip stitch, make sure to make single crochet but tight to close stitch a picot with single crochet. Now we continue again. We repeat this 4 single crochet stitches. If it's difficult to see stitches, you can stretch it a little bit. You can have magnifiers to help you. Then 3, 4, and picot. Close picot with slip stitch or with single crochet and continue again. 1, 2, 3, and 4. Picot, again 4 single crochet stitches, 1, 2, 3, 4, and picot. Close the picot. And at the end, so what we have to have a repeat of the pattern on each scallop. 4 single crochet stitches picot, 4 single crochet stitches picot, and you have 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 4 times. 4 times. After that, we finish with 3 single crochet stitches in the edge right here with the scallop. 1, 2, and 3. I will stop here for a second, stretch your last stitch, and go on the back and see how your packing cord look like in here. You will have, of course, a little bit of the packing cord that you could see. You have to make sure to so that your packing cord is not shown. So you pick up each strand by one. I hold my stitches so that I feel how my packing cord is moving. Because with your fingers, every time you feel move packing cord, pull on it, you can feel the stitches, the packing cord between stitches moving. Do it slowly and do it gently. Okay, all my packing cord is gone here, you cannot see it, and make sure not to pull on this. And if it's too fluttery, too wavy and too ruffle-like, pull on a packing cord a little bit more. So we continue after that. Insert your hook back into the loop of the stitch, and by the book we have to skip 1 and 2 double crochet stitches here and go into the next stitch, and again make 4 single crochet stitches over the edge of the scallop of the petal and packing cord, and you repeat exactly the same pattern as here. 4 single crochet stitches picot, 4 single crochet stitches picot, 4 single crochet stitches picot, 4 single crochet, picot, 3 single crochet stitches, skip 2 double crochet stitches here, and continue again repeating the same pattern. And now take your time to finish all that. I am at my last scallop, and I'm going to get my needle. I'll show you how to finish this piece. I will need needle and pliers, so I didn't take it, I have to grab it. So we have to, after you finish everything, it will look like this. So right now we are at the end, and I have to finish with 3 single crochet stitches here at the very end of the last petal. 1, 2 and 3. Also, after you finish that, at the very end you will have to finish with a slip stitch. So you drop your packing cord right here on the back, leave it behind your work, and find a spot, skip 2 stitches, and right into the first single crochet stitch of the first petal, of the first scallop, we will make slip stitch. Here it is. Pull your thread through and out. Your work is done here. This is how it will look like. Again, don't worry if your flower a little bit wavy. You have to make sure that, and try your best not to have it as ruffle. But it will be a little bit wavy. So what you will do, you will have to steam it. I like to block it first, and I block by putting the pins into the picots, stretching. Just give it a little stretch, not much. Make sure that your flower is flat, and then with the iron, hot iron, steam it. That's it. I do not wash my motifs first. I will wash all my garment at the end, when everything is done. So now we will turn our work on the back, and we will deal with this packing cord. So insert the needle, the thread into the eyelet of a needle. And at first we will sew over the packing cord right here, just a little bit, to secure this. The way I do this, you already know. We had it in video tutorials, how to finish your work, but I will show it again, because this flower just a little bit different than others. And you crochet, sew over the packing cord, going into the stitches, and make sure you tight when you sew. Make your stitches, your stitch, not stitches, but make sure that your sewing is tight, so that packing cord will not come out during washing the clothes, garment, if you will make it, or whatever the case. You want it to be tight and secured. Some people cut packing cord totally right after the last stitch. I prefer to sew over this of the packing cord, and also if you're not sure you got the stitch or not, you can always move your packing cord to see what's going on out there on the back. So sew about 5 millimeters or so, not longer than that. I like to go with my working thread and the needle right into the area where I was sewing, all the way back, and I use pliers to move my needle. It will be easier for me. Like this. After that, I can cut off the packing cord, and don't cut too close to the stitches where you were sewing. Just don't worry about that little piece. It will go away when you start washing. You will never see that. And it's on the back anyway. Now we have to make sure that this packing cord right here, where it's height that we had, is not shown in front. You don't want it to be seen. So what we will do, we will sew it in such a way that, just secure in few places, that it will be hiding on the back of the flower and will not move. So this time we will go into the stitches right in front of the packing cord. You have to find the second double crochet. This is our chain 3, so try to sew it to the next stitch, to the double crochet. That way your packing cord here will not be on the way, it will never show itself. We will hide it and it will be neat on the back. And you don't have to sew here a lot. The most important part, secure in 2 or 3 places, like that. Turn it in the front to see how it looks like. You cannot see your packing cord anywhere. And then all you have to do, weave thread that you were crocheting with and the thread that you sewed with. So I am going to move my thread around the packing cord here, a little bit sewing over the packing cord from previous rounds that is shown here, like that, and I will weave in my thread. You can weave it in or in those tight stitches right here where the scallop is, or you can weave your thread right in the center. I am close to the center, and this is where I will weave in my working thread so that I will not lose it. Help to move needle with the pliers. And always remember the way I taught before, when you weaving in the ends after your work, your working thread has to be weaved in very carefully so that it will never come out and unravel your motif. So I recommend to go, if it's cotton, around 1 time or 2 around the center. If you're using silk thread or anything silky, slick, I would recommend to weave in, or if it's on a round, 5 times, 5 rounds, or if you are somewhere in weaving where the stitches are, make sure to go one direction, another direction, move in back and forth 5 times. And the reason to do it so many times is that slick thread can come out, unravel all your stitches with time. So because you will wash your garments if you're making your motifs, and in the future you will use them for top or dress, you will of course have to wash your lace. And if this piece will be wearable, all those little pieces, if they are not hidden correctly and neatly, they will come out one day, and you want your work to be neat and last for a long time without any problems. So after you finish weaving, this is when it's time to cut your thread off, and you're done. Here it is. This is our 5th wheel.